Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here as the recording of this Monday, June 27, 2022. I have this because it is rainy, overcast, and a little dreary here in Boston, Massachusetts. I will be going around to South Boston, where I am now, Boston proper, and then over to Cambridge to do most of the filming locations for a movie celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. Good Will Hunting took place around these parts, and I'm inviting you to join me as I go discover them and see them with my own eyes for the first time. Shall you? Now, most of the interiors took place and were filmed across the border in Canada, over in Toronto, but a good majority of the exteriors right here in Boston. Also, there'll be some spoilers in this because, you know, it's been out for 25 years, but if you haven't seen it, I might give some stuff away by showing some of the spots, so keep that in mind. This is also going to be a little out of order from the sequence of the movie, just so I can get them all in a timely fashion. I got a little water on the lens there. But down this alley is where Ben Affleck's character, who played the best friend of Will Hunting, would pick him up each morning, or pretty often. He would drive down this alley to where Will lived. Found a parking spot and I'm walking down the alley. This little manhole says Boston Sewer. I don't know why I felt like showing that, but I did. So this is the angle. It was more of an overhead kind of angle looking down where Affleck pulls up in the old classic car right along here. And when they pull off, this building here looks exactly the same, as well as these little condos, apartments over there. But where Will lived right here has been completely remodeled from what it looked like then. But once again, the buildings just to the side of it behind that basketball hoop are still there. That's how you can kind of line it up. So the basketball hoop would have been right about where these trees are. And then obviously the back porch. This is around the back of the front of the building. The basketball hoop would have been right there. The green building's still there, as stated, as they're pulling down the alley. Right here. And where I'm standing, there was a wooden fence, kind of a classic style, old wooden fence right here that blocked this. That wooden fence is gone. All right, and at the very end of the film, when they pull up and realize that he's not home, that's looking down the way I just walked in. So kind of from that perspective there. So this still looks the same this way. Some renovations, but a lot of it still looks the same. I was just noticing when Casey Affleck gets out of the back seat and gets in the front seat, Ben Affleck's younger brother is also in the movie. And then they're about to take off. When he like circles around the car, there's a couple of people like onlookers watching them film the scene that weren't supposed to be in there. That was right there. Also, I believe all of these are newer buildings too. But yeah, if you watch that moment, you can see two people from the cast or crew just like standing in the background right there. Right there towards the back of the car. Who are they? And why are they there? Went ahead and walked a few blocks over, left my car parked in the same spot since parking's so tough to find. Right here was where the fight scene was. In fact, you can see this fire hydrant and that pole. They pull up here and notice they're about to get in a little bit of a tussle with a couple other guys. This has been renovated a little bit, but the basketball court is still here. Both goals. And this little pylon here has been repainted a different color as well. But one angle you can really match up is just about like this, with these two buildings that have look a little bit different. As he approaches them, you know, from the back, lets him know, he turns around and then punches him right there. I'm gonna check out the two doors there behind him as he's throwing the punch. Those two doors still over there. So this is definitely the court, the basketball court. Nobody playing any b-ball right now because the court is wet. It's pretty interesting, the whole backstory on how the movie was made and really how it jump-started the careers of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Now, I'd seen Ben Affleck in a lot of independent movies, as well as Chasing Amy, Kevin Smith films, things like that, but I had never seen Matt Damon before until I saw in '97. I went to the theater to see Good Will Hunting. Yeah, he was a huge star. It does not appear as if the East 5th Street variety store and lottery agent is open anymore. Right here on this corner. I do like that vintage sign right there. It's a classic. And that corner store is right down there. So on this block is where Sean's house was, played by Robin Williams. In fact, his little apartment was this loft right here, looking back down that way. Now there's a little alley down there called Bowen Street, but Matt Damon pulls up right where this other gray car would be. Of course, he pulls going the opposite way. This is a one-way street. But in the movie, he's driving the other way and pulls right where this gray car is. And this is the door for the climactic scene when Robin Williams checks the note in the mailbox right there at that very door. And the way I can tell that it is this one is because when Matt Damon pulls up, there's a couple different angles where he's standing right here along this. Show that now. Obviously been repainted, but there are 4 steps behind him. Those steps are still there. And then when he first pulls up in a frame or two before, where his car is facing me this direction, you see those same 4 steps, and you see this little window over here from this angle. So he gets out of his car and he turns and looks up to that very window where Sean is. It's the skinny one right there above the awning. Obviously repainted. And then he gets in his car that he was given by his best friend, well, best friends. But there's those small windows, and the little cracks on the sidewalk are very unique as well, how they just kind of turn at an angle like that. Notice how there are 3 mailboxes. Now the door's been replaced and the exterior surfacing is different, but there are 3 mailboxes still here, and that's the spot right there. So new door, but that's where, pretty great moment there at the end. I heard it, it was an ad-lib that he did talking about stealing his line, and they just left it in. As I was standing there filming, one of the residents came out and confirmed that that is in fact the right one. I was seeing some stuff online and they were saying it was one that was 2 buildings down, closer to the store, but in fact it is the one I was just standing in front of. Pretty dang cool. 3 apartments in there. So that door leads to 3 apartments. Back in my car now, onto another spot. Finding parking down here is very difficult. Not a lot of parking in this neighborhood. Okay, I just pulled over to the side of the road here just to get this. This is the trial court, which was used for the courthouse. After he gets in the fight, he goes to court and they tell him could end badly, but then, you know, there's a whole lot of plot points leading up to why he has to go see Sean, Robin Williams' character, the therapist, all that. But this is where he walks down the stairs. And there's a look at it as well. Yeah, I was a few feet back, but I was the closest I could get to pull my car over to the side. But that's it, those are the stairs. To say parking down here is difficult is an understatement. Everyone just kind of parks on the side of the street, double parks. I've been driving around this neighborhood trying to find parking. This is on the corner of 8th and L Tavern, or L Street. So I pulled over here just to show the exteriors of the L Street Tavern. All right, a couple blocks away I found a spot, but I wanted to kind of show what it looks like in the film itself. Don't know how it happened, but a spot opened up, and since it's only 5:11 p.m. and I don't need a resident permit until 6 p.m. I got a few minutes to walk up here to the tavern. When they exit the bar, they pass by a couple residents, the door there, and you can also see that metal pole and the stairs, the brickwork that is down there. And that brickwork's still there, so that's right here. And this is where that metal bracket was, which is since decomposed just a little bit. They walked right along here, which means that the L Street Tavern has been repurposed. It is now wood, but when you watch the movie, it was brick. When they walk out of the front, this is all brick. And I thought maybe they used a different exterior, but no, since '97, this has changed. This exterior has been changed to wood because it's all one continuous take. When they walk out of here, a group of them after his date with Minnie Driver, and they walk right past this and then get in their vehicle right here. And she says how she wants to meet all his brothers. Of course, he was an orphan. There weren't any brothers. But right here's the same angle when he's hugging her, and you know, Will says, "Take it easy, take it easy." Looking the opposite way still looks the same as well. Oh, here's a real clear angle of how it used to be brick. So right here on this corner is where he was given his car, which he ended up driving away at the end of the movie, but the car was right here on this corner. Looks so much different with the wood, with the brown wood. But the awning that's right up there, that can be seen when he's kind of admiring his new car, as shown here. Okay, the car was actually parked more over on this side of the street as opposed to where I was just thinking on the other side. Oh, there's another car pulling into the same spot. But that's the angle, kind of looking that way. Yeah, this is a busy neighborhood. As you can see in here, the only vehicle on the street is Will's car. Completely different than it is right now. I mean, just look, there's really nowhere to park down here. And now heading closer to downtown. It is overcast and dreary today, or this afternoon. Yes, I'm really thankful that I brought an umbrella. They brought an umbrella as well. They brought an umbrella also. So through here, in this park, there's this sculpture. A lot of people utilizing the oversized swan boats down there. But crossing over this bridge, there's a sculpture of George Washington down the way. But over here is what is now known as the Robin Williams Bench. To kind of get my bearings here, showing George Washington there. And from my best recollection, this is the angle here. This is the spot. You can see there are a lot of benches out here. Now this is not the screen used bench by any means. They have replaced it. It looks as if they put some brick underneath it. But this is the angle. I think the camera was more like this. Now as it's passing, you know, the internet, the world, news organizations, it just really touched a chord with a lot of people. And one of the you know, to honor Robin, a lot of things were kind of floating around the web, and the most popular probably of all of them, you know, obviously Genie from Aladdin, but also this scene right here from this angle where Robin Williams is sitting here next to the Will character played by Matt Damon, and he gives his dialogue. And it was all from this angle. See if I can match something up here. Yeah, it's definitely 100% this spot with the angle of the curvature, the little concrete area there. And looking the other way, you can see that sculpture of George Washington on the horse behind them as they're delivering the dialogue. With this very unique tree with all the knots on it. It also should be noted that nowhere on the bench area itself is there any sort of mention of Robin. However, a place for Barbara and her pups to pause. So this would have been the view they had when they were delivering those lines in that scene, acting that out. Very dramatic moment. And that's over their shoulders there. And again, this bench has been replaced, not the same bench. Had to put my camera down on the tripod. And then I put the umbrella over the top of it. Looks like something out of E.T. That was the only way I could get that without the camera getting soaked. Alright, moving on to the next spot. This bus right here is the Harvard shuttle bus. Right over here on this corner is going to be my last spot I'm going to be stopping at. Also got to say, finding parking anywhere around here very difficult. Drove around for probably another 20-30 minutes when I got to this spot. A lot of one-way streets here in the Boston area. And for someone from out of town, doesn't know my way around, it's very confusing. But I eventually found parking and want to show this building, which can be seen very prominently, and probably one of my favorite scenes from the film that transpired right over there. But you see this building here, the iconic "Do you like apples" scene. Took place right across the way over there. I believe it was a Dunkin Donuts at the time. Yeah, take a look, it's still painted green. And he notices that someone that he got into a little bit of a verbal altercation in the bar is over here at the donut shop. So Will goes across the road into, could it have been this one or that one? And you notice there's kind of an angled roof, triangle roof there with a clock. That is kind of obscured now. Trees have kind of grown up a little bit. But it's now going to be a new brunch place, that place that was the Dunkin Donuts that he taps on the window. So behind those trees is that angled clock. Just walking up a little bit of a ways just to make sure it's there. Yep, it is. So there is that, but you don't really see it from the proper angle. And it would have been the second pane of glass over. Oh, look, there's a bird. The second pane of glass over. Now these have been changed. They've added some wood into here. But the Dunkin Donuts that was here, they used to have kind of like different sections as well. So they probably just kind of added on to that. But it was the second one. So with the clock behind the trees here, it would have been right down here. First he kind of taps on it like this to get the guy's attention. Doesn't get the attention. And then bangs on it like that. Do you like apples? How you like them apples? Smashes the paper right up there. I got her number. How do you like them apples? And I love the fact that they recorded the audio from the other character's side looking in. So when you watch that scene, you can faintly hear Matt Damon outside this window, standing here. Instead of crystal clear audio from his perspective, you're getting it from the other side of the glass perspective. That's so cool. And I guess Grafton Street Pub is going away. The Dunkin Donuts that was here is gone too. My favorite spoof of that moment definitely was from Futurama. You like bananas? I don't know, I think it's actually funnier than the real moment. I don't know, the real moment was pretty genius too, but you like bananas? How you like them bananas? This was a lot more time consuming than I thought it would be. Did not take into account on how the parking situation would be. Traffic wasn't too bad, but just kind of looping around to find parking at all the spots and all the one-way streets. But I got done. There's a couple more, but I felt like ending with the apple scene was pretty good. There's one or two little kind of tiny spots, but I hit the key ones on a very rainy day. And I will be in this area for a while, technically staying on the state line of Rhode Island and Massachusetts. So it's not too far around to go to quite a few things that I want to do. Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Who knows where I will go over the next series of days, but I'm going to be around here for just a little while. Probably a week give or take a day. Maybe a little more than a week, I don't know. Let's say a week. Well, that's going to do it for today. I'll see you in the next video, the vlog. Is over. The clouds at sunset look awesome.